Hello my dear tamers, it's been a long time, like 2 months now. I will make this quick. If you want to know about the channel update and more, just stay here. But if you want to see the actual content of the video, skip to this moment. Now, sorry it took so long to update. Many people thought I gave up on this channel, but the reality is that I was super busy, stressed, and without much content to update. The order of priorities of my life is working, studying, doing some personal projects, playing Digimon, and at the end of all that, making the videos. I say this to my friends all the time, but YouTube is like a hobby of my hobby, which is playing Digimon. So, like, my hobby is playing Digimon, and the hobby of my hobby is making videos. So, with that said, you can understand that making content just for the sake of making content won't ever happen here. I just do videos of what I would like to see myself, because no one else did it maybe, and because I thought that I had something to share, really. That is meta or relevant decks of the game and some analysis from time to time, like this video. If I feel like no one has aborded the issue as I wanted, I will do it myself, but most of the time there are enough content creators out there. That is what this channel is about mainly. More things can happen on the future, but the intention here is to give information, plays, examples, and content in the most objective way, so you can reach your own conclusions too. I don't like to preach because I don't feel like I have all the answers. But when I have to say or show something, I do it knowing it's more of a fact than an opinion. I want to start making more deck profiles because I feel like the game has become really complex and now decks are easy to learn but difficult to master. Therefore, there is a place for some advices and discussions about decks, more than just showing off the cards for 5 minutes and saying superficial stuff to just fill a video. If you think it's a good idea or not, just leave it on the comments. I like to hear about you. Many people has pointed out things that I actually used to improve the channel. Other issue that people nag me about is doing commentary on gameplays. Honestly, I don't have the time to do it. Making a video where I have to talk about the plays will take the double of time to do so, and I feel like putting the effects of the cards and making some clarifications here and there is enough. Like, if you really want to have to explain and do all commentary about everything in the middle of the gameplay, you end up missing things or just having to slow down the pacing to do it properly. Last thing I want to say is that thank you all to those who follow this channel. I know that it's small. With this break, I had people reaching me out wondering why I haven't uploading. I know we aren't even 700 subs for now, but with that small amount, I already have such passionate followers. It made me really happy, so thank you a lot. Keep commenting on the videos, even if we make mistakes. It's important for those who are learning and more to see the comment that says, hey, this is a misplay, or it's better to do it this way. I just wanted to tell you how I'm feeling. I want you guys to make you understand that I'm never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you. Yeah, but thank you for all the comments and people who reach me. It gives me more motivation. I'm full motivated now to continue doing videos. So thank you all. Now let's start with the analysis of the game up to this point. The objective here is to talk about how the game is changing. This is for those who want to understand the core mechanics and how it may develop in the future based on my reasoning and data. Kinda general data, not precise. Since most of my audience is from the English format, I assume that many of you want to see this channel to get ready for what's coming. If you want me to do a video about the relevant decks of every set, leave it on the comments. I have think about it, but as I told in a video before, the new mechanics and Digimons from BT8 changed the way we usually play the game. To that point, we have always been trying to cheat our way to the big Digimons, or just attack by the cheapest number of digits we can get. That's how things like bond decks and hybrid decks stuck for so long. But now we got special effects that affect the foundation of this way of playing, from destroying tamers, play extra Digimons for free, to even denying any destruction effects that other Digimons can make. As many may know, BT9 became an OTK format where it was pretty easy to build a Digimon and just take all the security in one turn. The game has so many Digimons or tamers that work as searchers that consistency is almost not a problem anymore. You can have your typical bricky hand, but hey, that's just RNG. You can't blame it all inconsistency. Sometimes it's a little luck. However, this happens less and less with the newer sets. The most important decks from BT9 were those who actually had protection against most of the deletion effects, making a holy trinity of decks. Like we got Alphamon, who couldn't be minus DP or deleted with Doro Greymon's effect. And if you played Congo, that it wasn't that crazy in the Alphamon decks, your Digimon couldn't be sent to the security by Chaos Degrade. Then we had War Greymon with the inherited skill of Greymon X Antibody or Metal Greymon Altreus, where if you trash two sources of the same level, we could prevent being destroyed, return to the hand or deck. And finally, we got Yellow Hybrids, you know, a classic of all life. I hope those players die. Not really, but you know, I hate you. There were other relevant decks that were fast and effective as these ones, like Garurumon and Grandis Kuwaga, but both decks were used less frequently when people noticed that the big wall that yellow hybrids have created, none could survive the option cards that they might reveal in the security when they attack. It was so bad that many players, including myself, splashed red on Garurumon decks to use Delicate Plan. So yes, it was that bad. Well, there was also armor decks with Magnamon X Antibody that they were cool, but still had the same problem against yellow hybrids. But they were actually pretty interesting decks. Resuming, BT9 was a shitty meta with 3 decks, and at the end everybody was playing Alphamon because it was the most consistent deck with more than 16 searchers. So it was a matter of turns until it assembled its parts to win. People stopped playing the same way when blue hybrids was dominating. It was really bad, and it was surprisingly bad because we came from BT8 and X2 that was actually really good. But then we entered BT10 with some crazy shit coming out. First, the introduction of the Digicross mechanic. The anime was awful, but the decks are awesome. For those who don't know, Digicross is a mechanic where you reduce the play cost of your Digimon based on the materials you put under it that are specified on the card. The materials can come out from your hand, or could be from a Digimon in the battle area. And with the use of some tamers, the materials can come from under some tamers with the skill Save these Digimons have. Take this Metal Greymon for example. Here we can use Greymon and Male Dramon. And these Digimons have the skill Save, so when they die, you put it under a tamer. And with the tamer Kiriha, we can rest the tamer and use these Digimons to Digicross, even if they die before. This may look simple, but it's a huge game changer. Not only we got high level Digimons for cheap, you know, Metal Greymon for 3 cost or Dark Knightmon level 5 for 4 cost, or all the Crossheart Digimons for almost 1 or 0 cost that are level 4 and level 5. But not only cheap, but also something that your opponents can see coming or prevent. Usually we know that what our opponents can do based on their battle or racing area, but this just comes out of nowhere, and you can prevent it because it just comes from your hand, where your opponent can do anything or reach you. Many of you may be thinking, nah, you just can see it coming by the memory or the deck they are playing. But here is the catch. It has been revealed in X3, Dragon's Roar, the newest set, the newest mini set that is coming. Dobrikmon, I think I pronounced it right, who can also be Digicross, a level 6 red, only using dragons and dinosaur types of Digimons. It will be weird in the translation because it's based off if they have certain kanji, and this kanji is included in Dragon King, dragons and dinosaur species. So I don't know how they are going to translate this, but it has many potential. A card that flexible can be put in a bunch of decks, really. Open the windows to many possible combinations. But it has a drawback. This mechanic is incredibly risky. You are using a lot of cards as sources to play a Digimon for low cost. Spending 3, 4, 5 cards on one Digimon with no draws. You draw nothing because you are technically playing a Digimon. If you lose the whole stack by one inconvenient effect, that's a huge punch in the gut. For example, your opponent evolves into Metal Greymon from BT8, and your beautiful Shadmon X5 becomes a Shadmon and gets deleted, and you lose all your beautiful stack there. I could explain all the Digicross mechanics here, but it will be too long and the video isn't mainly about that. To continue, the other thing that BT10 hint was, well, hint, actually it's a fact, the use of Armor Purge, the skill Armor Purge, on more Digimons. Therefore, the skill didn't die on BT8, so that's good. And it will still be relevant in the future. And what's more important, the skill isn't for only armor type Digimons, meaning it isn't limited to a particular theme or archetype. It's like not only Digimons from the anime Digimon 02 have this skill. The final mechanic I want to mention is that the playing Digimons for free or super cheap. Remember Imperial Ramon or Kaiser Nail? Well, now we got fresher ways to play for free. Bloom Lordmon deck is based on that. Also some purple, but those decks aren't viable yet. I know it isn't something that new, but this way of playing may become more relevant in the future. And it's something that goes pretty well with the direction the game took. For example, in X3, we have a whole dragons deck of playing dragons for free, dragons that are level 6. More important, the evolution effects of each level and the DNA evolutions or Chokres evolutions are more important because we will have a lot of Digimons on the field play for free, so we can activate all kinds of skills really. In BT10, we still have the OTK decks we had from BT9. The difference is that the decks are more aggro or play enough Digimons that can stop the flow of the OTK. Other decks have been using different level 3s to block enemies' effects. We have level 3s that block memory, that block evolution cost, that block play cost, that block the fact that you can play Digimons for free, all kinds of blocks. Decks are constantly countering each other with these effects, and especially with the limited space they have, making the deck building crucial. Is half of the battle now. It feels like the game is only an OTK from the racing area or just playing aggro. That's where the final key piece falls in place. The global effects. BT10's Venusmon has bring one of the biggest things to the game when evolving gives security attack -1 to all of your Digimons. This is a global effect, like Ice Wall. So if you play a new Digimon or even comes from the racing area, they will be affected by this. And not only that, it has a passive effect where any Digimon that has a security plus or minus effect, their evolution or attacking skills don't activate. Also, you can't attack Venusmon. So basically, the turn Venusmon evolves, all the Digimon's effects can be used, really, or most of them. That doesn't stop there. We have Metallic Dramon in the coming set X3 Dragon's Roar, and the effect is this one. On play, the Digivolve all of your opponent Digimons, then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. If no Digimon was deleted by this effect, all of your opponent's unsuspended Digimons can Digivolve until the end of your opponent's turn. Also, this Digimon has Blocker and Reboot. If the second effect takes place, that no one that is active can Digivolve, that's a huge punch in the gut. Like, we didn't have something until now that doesn't allow you to Digivolve. This is the first time, and also it's a global effect. And for last, we have Holy Dramon, also from the next set X3, making the same as Venusmon, but on deletion, giving minus security attack -1 to all the Digimons. Also a global effect. I think they are these two, the Metallic Dramon and Holy Dramon, are global effects. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 90% that these are global effects. So in case I make a mistake, sorry. And if they are not, I see more global effects happening in the future, because the game is getting crazy, man. To summarize everything, we have skips to keep your Digimons alive, armor patch and more. Others to play them for free or super cheap. Big evolution effects in level 4, 5 and not only level 6. And for last, big global effects that can stop many of the things I mentioned just now, including Digimons from the racing area. We can say the game is becoming interesting for sure. The balance between Digievolution, on play, on deletion, or even at the end of the attack effects will be crucial. It's kinda notorious this shift the game is having, because most of the expensive and rare cards before BT8 aren't that viable anymore. But in contrast, the commons and uncommons with simpler effects that can fit in many archetypes have become like gold on today's market. I know it's not all the cards, I am generalizing here, but you get it. Like, the level 3 memory blockers are more rare to find than the Lord Nightmon right now. And I think they are even more expensive. Also, I would like to call out how important the game style of players has become. The decks, as I said before, has become easy to learn but difficult to master since BT8. People may see a deck list and still can't fully resonate with it and play it as well as others. Call it the heart of the cards or something, but it's true, and I know many of you have noticed with practice. There are decks that just are in sync with you. For me, it's Blue Flare from BT10. I saw my friends struggling to play it or make the best of it while I'm winning tournaments. This also happened to me at some point when I wanted to play Dark Nightmon decks, but I just couldn't do it as good as my friends. They just were better than me. I couldn't believe it. It's like we have almost the same cards, we almost take the same decisions, but something of knowing your deck, building from zero and knowing the priorities you have to take, something so difficult to explain sometimes, it has become more relevant, and that's about how every player is. Even if your deck isn't, the one with the most win rates, if you played good enough, you can go very far, kid. All this came to me when friends and I entered our first 3v3 tournament. We faced a lot of different decks. There were some repeat offenders like Crossheart and Alphamon, but an interesting meta without a doubt. Also, I liked the community a lot because even if it wasn't a rule, everyone playing different decks in their teams. You can face a team that have 3 yellow hybrid players just to win, but no one did that. It was actually nice to see all different decks in all the teams. Kinda an unwritten rule that you have to play something different. It was a nice touch. I know, the community was having fun. Even if they took the tournament seriously, they didn't go for the most oppressive decks. The tournament was 5 rounds to classify, and we won 4 with a lot of 3-0 victories. Then the top 8 teams have a single elimination tournament to finish it. We took the 3rd place of the big tournament, really. A big call out to my analog boys, my boys. What a great day we had there. What a blast. I think our biggest mistake was free playing a lot with our opponents after the official matches were over. We underestimated how long the tournament would be, and after 6 hours of constant plays, we were mentally exhausted. We were almost glad of losing our last round. By the way, this is the winners of the tournament. And here are us, the 3rd places. And amazingly, the MVP was the Galantmon deck. No one saw it coming, not even the Galantmon player itself, that they will actually perform that well. It was amazing. So that shows how important is the playstyle of a player, not of a deck, of a player itself. So that was a long talk. What do you guys think about the info I just dropped? Do you find it useful? Do you think I'm completely mistaken? Do you already know this info but reach different conclusions? Are you watching this months after I uploaded and this info is super irrelevant, or actually I hit the spot? I don't know. Who knows? I would like to say that, oh yeah, I predict something. Write what you think on the comments down below. There are all kinds of opinions out there, really. For example, I love BT10 and a friend actually hates it because of Dexmon in every deck. So as you see, any opinion is valid. It's important, even if it seems worthless. It will help people actually make decisions about if they want to continue playing this game, or if this game become better or worse. Any kind of info like this could actually help people decide what to do with their cards in the future. See you around, my dear tamers, and bye bye.